Hey campers, how many ways are there to make a wood gasifier? Well, I don't know. All I know is I have quite a variation. This is the Ozark Trail stove. It works really well. This is a regular vegetable can with a soup can inside of it. This is a Campbell's soup can with another vegetable can inside of it. This is a Progresso soup can inside of a 1-quart paint can. This is a baked bean can inside of a 1-quart paint can. This is a Progresso soup can inside of a Dinty Moore beef stew can. This is a Campbell's soup can inside of a Dinty Moore beef stew can. This is a $3 stainless steel canister inside of a Hill Brothers coffee can. This is a Freon can inside of a helium tank. This is my smokeless fire pit. It's a wood gasifier just like all the rest of these, and it works just fine. Every one of these works just fine. Some of them haven't been tested. I don't have to test this one. I know it's going to work because it's a Progresso soup can, and I've made Progresso soup cans inside of a 1-quart paint can. This particular one has actually not been used. I have used one exactly like it. It does work. So, how many different ways are there to make a wood gasifier? Nobody really knows. There's 9. But you're only limited by your imagination. Get out there and make it work. Give it a try. You'll like what you do, and it'll work just fine. So what's the difference between the Progresso soup can and the Campbell soup can? Well, the way they're shaped. The Campbell soup can, much like the bean can, no. The Progresso soup can, much like the bean can, has a nice straight edge. Okay? And that's what allows it to fit inside of this paint can so perfectly. So we've got that in there, but what's the Campbell soup can look like? The Campbell soup can has a tapered top. Okay? That's so that you can stack them on top of each other in the grocery store. So the Campbell soup can works really well with the Dinty Moore beef stew can because you cut your hole the size of the can opening and then press the can in. And because of the taper that you have on the top of this, right here, the Dinty Moore stew can will stop when it hits this larger area. That's what makes this a little bit better stove than the Progresso soup stove. The Progresso soup stove is very simple to make, and I made one using the Dinty Moore beef stew can, and I was able to force it from the top in, and it's staying really well. I took a screwdriver and pressed the metal on the can here back down after I got the Progresso soup can in place, and that's what's holding it in place, what holds the can up. But anyway, that's the difference. So if you want to make something simple, you want to make something that you don't have to buy a paint can to use, it's still going to have the same capacity, go with the Dinty Moore beef stew and the Campbell's soup can. And the reason I say that is because you got to eat. Okay? This is junk. After you've eaten the stew, there's just an empty can. Same with the soup can. And you can pick any Campbell's soup you want. But normally people throw these cans away. Why not make something useful out of them? That's my take. Now, yes, as far as simplicity, the paint can with the bean can is actually an excellent find, but these paint cans aren't cheap, even through Amazon. Bean cans, yeah, you got to eat, so you can get a hold of a bean can really cheap, but the paint cans, like I said, are not cheap. This particular pot stand is a canned chicken can. Okay? It's white meat chicken in a can, and it happens to fit perfectly for what I want. So yeah, you can use that and make yourself a pot stand for the Stanley cook set. Well, if you're going to make a gasifier, and it doesn't matter what you make it out of, you're going to have a pot stand. So here's a few that I made, and every one of them's just a little bit different. I used my 3/16 hole punch, punched holes around the bottom of a can, cut the bottom out of it, opened an opening to dump the wood into the gasifier after the pot's already set on it. Now, a lot of people like the Stanley cook pot, so this is just slightly too big in diameter for the Stanley cook pot, so that's why I took a coat hanger, made some bends. It fits right through the hole there, and right through that hole there, and then snaps over the far side, and you can set your Stanley cook pot right on top of that. So that one's set up for the Stanley. This one is as well. It's the same situation. I took my hole punch and punched a bunch of holes around it so that I could set my coffee pot on it, and then I decided if you want to use a Stanley cook pot, you needed a stand for the Stanley, so that works really well. Another one that I have, that I've had for a long time, is simple hardware cloth. It's 1/2 inch hardware cloth. You can pick it up at your hardware store, cut it to the size that you need, shape it accordingly, and you'll probably need a pot stand for that too if you're going to use it for your Stanley cook pot, which I don't see why this one won't work. Just a matter of putting it on there. But anyway, those are some of the options that are available. Like I said before, use your imagination. You're only limited by your imagination. So there you go. The nice thing about these, this comes off, fits right inside there. This comes off the top, goes right over the bottom underneath. And the same thing here, this comes off, drops right inside, and this fits right up underneath, nice and storable. The same with this, it will in fact fit up inside either one of these. So there you go. Get out there and create. Use your imagination. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.